same here. And
Uh,
is so. Should we start?
yeah, to me you can start, but I don't know the rest of the learners whether they are ready or not.
And is the PPT visible?
Yeah, it is visible. If there is possibility of making it big, we will prefer that.
I have made it big. Like see, this is minimizing,
It is
and this is how I make it big.
all right.
I have enlarged it. Okay.
All right, do what you can, man. We always say
Okay.
thank you.
It's okay. So I think let's go ahead. Okay. Today um, we will be focusing on these six chapters. One is the role of media. What is the role of media in the tourism sector? Then writing for tourism. Then we have personality development and communication skills, the use of history, monuments and museum, living culture, and performing arts. Right. So we will be also learning about what are the uses of history in tourism, as well as the performing arts. So let's start with media. Media has a very important role to play in the growth, in the development, as well as the promotion of the tourism industry. By creating a better awareness and understanding to cater to the needs and requirements of the domestic as well as the international tourist, as one knows that a traveler is a potential tourist. Okay, so basically, when we talk about media, right now social media is much in hype. We know the different, like we have television, we have radio, newspapers, magazines, as well as the internet. But yes, social media is much in hype now because we have the social media handles like Twitter, then yours Instagram, Facebook, where you can share all the whatever your activities and all. So medium, it is a medium through which idea is communicated to a potential user. Thus media plays a very important role in the tourism development. Now there are different types of media. One is the print, another is the broadcast, then we have electronic as well as the display. Like when you talk about the print media, it indicates the newspapers, the periodicals, the special magazines. Broadcasting, we have the radio, but right now television is, nobody listens to radio. I would rather say youngsters, they are more hooked to the mobiles because they all get all the information there. Okay, electronic media, like audio, video, you get details of everything. Talking about the display, it includes the hoardings. We see, different types of hoardings which are being there at the railway stations, airports, near shopping market, shopping arcades. Then there are wall paintings, then illuminated boards. There are posters. And then there are banners. At retail outlets, you might have also seen that at airports, especially at the railway stations or airports or the vehicle transport stations like bus stations we have in India. There are a lot of posters that are being displayed, showing the tourist destination of that particular area because it catches the attraction of the tourist. Then, of course, there are sky balloons also there, and then there are window displays. Then you'll find lot of small printed booklets, brochures that have been inserted in the newspapers and all. So we are suppose a exhibition is taking place from this date to this date. So you'll find a leaflet in the newspapers. So you come to know. So these are basically like they trying to attract the tourists. Now, these are few, photographs I have shown what is like what takes place in India. Like, these are shopping markets and all where you find all these posters, banners, and you get attracted to. Whether it's about the food, whether it's about the, accommodation, whether it's about the destinations. You are always you get to know what's happening in the city, in the town, or in the country, right? Now there are different media terms. Media terms if you talk about the media terms, it includes the advertisement, who is the audience, audience profile, campaigns, commercial, then cumulative audience. Now, when you talk about the this advertisement, it's basically the use of space in a publication, time in broadcast to convey the message, and that is on paid basis. You have to make payment for that. Then you have to know who is your audience, who listens it, who hears it, read the message in India. Suppose you are a youngsters, okay? So you will be trying to see okay, what are the where I can do where I can do my university level education, which university is best to choose from the country, where will I get some sponsorship and all. So we have to know the audience profile, what who looks for. So when we talk about the audience profile, it indicates the status, the economic condition, the location of that particular area, the qualifications and interest of audience. Then there are campaigns like planned programs to communicate, especially in schools, colleges. You'll have different campaigns, to participate in different programs and all. Then we have commercials. Commercials mean small advertisements that comes, on the TV or in the when you go to watch movie in between a movie or in between a serial which is running on the. In India, we do have a lot of, you are watching usually the serials are around 30 minutes, and in between you'll have lot of commercials. Sometimes you just lose that patience, because you are watching a serial and it should go in one flow, but look, in between some commercials come in between. So you might be wondering why these commercials are coming, but you need to know they are making payment for that. So commercials are basically advertisement message that is broadcasted on TV. Then you have the cumulative audience, which indicates the sum of exposure to all media in campaign. Now, you have the frequency also, number of times audience has the opportunity to access the message over a period of time. Even you just suppose if you wanted to see any YouTube video, you wanted to see the destinations of monuments of India. If you just try to click on the monuments of India, in between you'll see all these videos that's coming, 2 minutes videos, not even 2 minutes, like 1 minute or 30-second video. So sometimes you have to skip those. So, but yes, sometimes those videos in how to build your personality development, how to become more effective in your communication skills. So, in between these videos, there are so many small, not videos, I mean small ads in between. It comes like how you should. Uh, you have to be a very, a frequent reader. How can you read 20 books in a year? So these small ads keep on coming, and you have to skip those ads. Sometimes I feel like you just get stuck on those ads, and then you have to register, and you can just register means you have to make some payment and watch that particular that video and all. So of course, this image, public perception of the media's quality, and what is the impact is always is a positive impact as well as negative impact. So the effect of coverage which influenced audience, as I was telling you, you might be wanting to see the different destinations of the country, and suddenly you see an ad pops in where you find the these are the best universities in the country. So you just get hooked to it, and how to participate, how to get enrolled in those universities, or if you wanted to have your communication skills improved, you have to register in those. So these have a lot of impact. This coverage, usually this has an effect of coverage influence audience, and audience means what is their demographic, basically their age group and all those which influence the type of audience who are watching those advertisements. Then you have jingle, that is an advertisement message with music on radio. Then you have a point of purchase where the whether it's any like whether it's right from your food to the your clothing, or your jewelries, everything. They are on display at the retail outlet known as point of purchase. And of course, you get a spot refers to time for advertisement in radio, TV. Now, what are the media differences? A considerable difference exists between the different medias in terms of coverage, the exposure, the flexibility, and other characteristics. Some media go to where the audience are, they know when to capture. Suppose they wanted to have a some dance program, and they wanted the youth should participate in that. So what they do, they go to different colleges, they go to different schools, and they try to capture the audience. Who are the audience? The audience are either the college going students, or usually they are in the age group of 18 to 22 and 23. So they know where to go. The media has, of course, it has limited boundary, and and some media pursued at the convenience of the audience, some according to the convenience of the media owner. Now there is also the print media, that is especially the newspapers we all are aware of. Ideas can be tested quickly in the print media than other media, because if you wanted to see through the your mobiles, your smartphones and all, you have to just search for, then you can get it. But in newspapers there are, there are advertisements, there are on author, there are on some what are the present political activities that's going on, current scenario, about different books, about different movies that's good. So they are around, usually the newspapers are of 8 to 10 pages, and there are about sports also. Then there are, different types of fairs, exhibitions that are coming place, that you can see there is a space for that. Then there is also a space for bridegroom wanted. Then there is also a space for jobs. So these are the situations that, so this type of in print media, you can easily, especially in the newspapers and all, you can easily see at a glance. But through the smartphone, you have to really search for, you have to seek for, you have to find for. Okay. So ideas can be tested quickly in print media other than the other medias. Then magazine cover more audience, used for a longer time period, and attractive, but requires more time in designing and preparation. We have also seen that a lot of magazines, especially their covers, that attracts. But of course, it takes some time in design and preparation. Or there is also direct mailing, are good for specialized markets and personalized touch to build and maintain customer loyalty. You might have also seen, if you subscribe for different books, or subscribe for different jewelries, or subscribe for attending some webinars related to tourism, you'll see it keeps on coming and coming. So it ensures, so that is basically a direct mailing, and that has a personalized touch. Okay, this personal touch is being basically given to build and maintain customer loyalty. Then you have this cinema and film slides. They are also very expensive, and TV has more viewers, but audience profile, interest of audience, time of broadcast are main things which will affect effectiveness. If we talk about the radio, it has the advantage of moving with listeners to overcome the problem of illiteracy. If messages is not durable, it may be echoed. Suppose if you want to watch TV, obviously you have to sit in the drawing room of your room and watch TV. But suppose if you wanted to watch the news, what you do, you just connect to your smartphone news. You have a earphone, and you may be driving, or you may be in a restaurant, and you can easily listen that news. So that is one important. These are the factors which helps to analyze, who are the audience, and how frequency the news are being heard and all. Then you have the hoardings, posters, signs.
Excuse me, ma.
These are all. Huh? Tell me.
I say, can't we see the slides on the screen so that today it's not properly audible? Because when you explain it, if it is past, it is already past. But when we view the slide on the screen, it will help us a lot. Can we see the
Yeah,
slide on the screen?
No, you cannot see the slide. Is the
Yeah,
slides?
we can. It's not properly visible. That's why.
Oh, one sec, one sec. One minute. See, now can you see the slide?
Yeah, we can see it right now. It will help us. Thank you.
See, I am just increasing the size. 1 minute.
Okay, keep it right.
1 minute. But I have increased the size of the slide. Now you see.
Yes, we can see it a little bit, but if you can increase it like that, that's all the best we can manage.
Yeah, I don't know why this, why it's happening, but I'm trying my best from my side. Okay. But is it audible? Like what I'm saying, is it audible? You can understand?
It's audible.
Okay, it's audible. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So, exhibitions and fairs they can use for advertisement with the help of panels, personal explanations. Then we have pamphlets, we have leaflets, then working models, film, audio, and video clips. Usually, this is what is in there we'll find at the exhibitions and fairs, and they are used for the advertisement. Now, media research, there are two important media research. There are the two agencies that do the media research. One is IMRB and Imagier. Now, what the process that is involved in selecting the media for advertisement, it helps in it's a deciding factor what media to use. This is the research that is being decided by the media partners. Okay, what media to use, what has to be presented, how many times it has to be presented, and who are the audience, what kind of people see it, how much, and then comes the cost affair, how much does it cost, and what is its impact on the society or on the travel personnel. We should always remember that knowledge about readership patterns and behavior help us in deciding the choice and use of media. Now, media research provides estimate of readership or viewership of average issue or program, where, when, how much they will read, see or hear. See everything I've seen. There is LinkedIn, there is Twitter, there is Facebook, there is Instagram. You can always access this, and you have to know who are the audience. You have to know your target audience. So accordingly, you have to you do a study on that, and accordingly, you have to respond to their queries also. So you have also sometimes there are challenges that is there in the research media, like sometimes casual attitude of the readers. What happens when we usually read the newspaper, we intently read the news and all. But if it comes on the if you sit on our smartphone, we just keep on just have a glance, like there is in newspapers you don't you intend to learn the content, but well in smartphones you just have a glance, like you just keep on okay, this is fine enough, we'll shift to another one, you keep on changing. So we could say that there's a very casual attitude of the readers, okay? And a reader may be regular or irregular during this period also. And then the media image, so the whatever that the media that is being projected, that is being highlighted, that is being overcasted, whatever, it should have a reputation, and there should be good reputation, and honesty of the medium should exist. Geographical area covered and number of circulation, this also taken into account. And as I told you that where you should know where the hoardings has to be placed. If you just keep the hoardings at improper at a place which is not being viewed by the common people, then it doesn't make any impact. So you have to also ensure, since we are in the tourism, we are tourism professional, we have to ensure that the hoardings are being placed at proper areas. So place of hoardings is very important. Now coming to the media cost, this is very important. But we just wanted to just wanted to give a a small highlight. Cost efficiency is very important in the actual cost of using the media. And when we talk about cost efficiency, it is defined as the number of exposures what the advertisement in a particular media will deliver for a given budget. And cost efficiency comparison has to be done very carefully. Okay, there is media A and media B. You need to know the cost of the ad, the circulations, the readers per copy, readership per issue, who is your target audience. These all you should be able to know. And of course, how to calculate, there is something called GRP, that is a gross rating point. It is equal to the percentage of audience that has tuned into the commercial or spot during specified period of time. And you should always remember, see, I have shown you in the brochure, where it is mentioned amazing holidays, how much it would cost you, who are your travel partners, and what are the travel packages. Everything should be highlighted and it should be very eye catching. Now, you have to package it too and you have to sell it to the consumer, sell it to the customer. So you should there's a budget everywhere. So you should always remember the entire process of media usage involves three parties. One is the media owners, another is the ad agencies, and another is the advertisers. Mm. Hope y'all can. Is it visible? No? Because sometimes I have to check. Is it visible? Let me see your faces. Is it visible?
Yes.
Caesar,
Yeah.
Basir. Mm,
Yeah, we
okay,
can see it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Fine, fine. 1 minute. Yes. Now comes the media planning. Media planning is very important because it is the determination who decides on and what are the considerations. Media plan, you have to, there is always what are your objectives, what are your marketing objectives, then what are your media objectives, and then you have to find out the strategies, and then sometimes marketing problems. So you have to handle all of this. So you should know when you are doing for marketing objective, your objective is to that it has a very positive impact on the surrounding, on the community. More consumers are attracted towards the advertisement, and you get a business. That is what is your ultimate objective. You have to market your product, but you should determine what media to use, what is the frequency that you should use that, and what are the timings to be done. Then you have to also decide on the details of the media, what are the timings, and you have to also take care of the budgets that is being involved. You have to consider about the segmentation effect. You should know whether you have to target the students or whether you have to target the um, you know like holiday lovers, or whether you are the corporates, because sometimes it is even if you target at the youngsters, they are very within the budget, so they may not have that access or freedom to spend much. But the corporates, they have that option to spend on. So you should see also the response function. Remember, though it is difficult to arrive at a judicious decision on media planning, but media plays a very important role, vital role in the tourism sector. Then it is very next unit is on writing for tourism. You always have a story to tell, as told you. Whenever you visit a destination, you are very keen to take photographs, and you have to design, do some auditing, do some editing, and you put some music. Only just normal videos will not be that eye-catching. And you just took some photographs. You have to do some editing. Then you have to put some background music. It should be very attractive. So similarly, that then you can post it on your social media handles. But at the same time, if you feel like if you have a if you're very passionate about writing, then you can be a creative travel writer. about any destination. So why writing is also very important, because write-ups influence the tourist's choice, the demands, and it also reassures that the tourist about his dream becoming a reality. It gives an idea about what to expect and what not to expect at a destination. It has been said that if you are a sometimes it has been said that if you love a holiday, going to different destinations, but always there is a financial crunch at your side. So what you do sometimes, through the books, you visualize that you are at the right place. So that is what is important. If you are People have different motives, people have different hobbies, passions. So if you are interested in creative travel writing, then you should what the qualities you should possess, what you should practically depend on. So that is very important to know. So that's I told you. Even sometimes you may not be able to. I suppose I won't be able to go to. For example, maybe I will be able to go to Nigeria. But yes, I can read the books. I can read articles on Nigeria. It gives you a feeling that I am in Nigeria. But nowadays you have this virtual tour also. It's sitting at your home. You can have a look. You can go through the videos, and you feel like you are traveling all around Nigeria. So this is you know. So when I come to about travel writing, it focuses on the past as well as the contemporary issues, and travelogues of ancient times provide information regarding the distant lands. When tourism becomes a major economic activity, travel writing also becomes a very specialized area. Newspapers, journals, a lot we use in their house. When we talk about content writing, and suppose you work for any organization, you are a hardcore professional. Okay, you may be a computer scientist, but at the same time you love traveling to different places. You can also become a content writer. This content writer, your main motive, or you would always try to focus on the different places, or it's not essential that you always write about the very popular places. There are many places which are not yet visited by the tourists, but they can become a very popular if that is being properly highlighted. So that is what is very, it is called proper exposure is needed. So to expose it, you should write it through your travel writing. So it should be expressed through your travel writing. So that what it matters. So various service providers in tourism industry have their own magazines also. When promotion literature are in demand for destinations development. What are the basic requirements of travel writings? There should be clarity, should be there. You can be a travel blogger, okay? You should be able to describe, and people should have that. Once they start reading, they should be hooked to it. That much their strength should be there in your writing skills, okay? And should be a and should have a keen sense of observation, especially the environment. So writer must influence the reader to undertake journey to a particular destination. Sometimes you have not visited that area. We always, whenever we go to African countries and all, we feel like visiting Egypt, we feel like visiting Mauritius, because they are so popular destination, and it is being so much highlighted, it is being so much advertised. I think the media can so much advertise, and there are lots of travel bloggers, who write books on writing about this Mauritius. Even my parents had been to Mauritius. So this is how you have to. So you have to undertake journey to a particular destination, and through your writing, it should influence the reader that he undertakes a journey to a particular destination. Then you have to decide on the mode of travel. Sometimes lack of resources of entertainment is also there. So you need to show those resources. You have to showcase on the cuisines available there. Then you can also show on some souvenirs and something where people can spend money on shopping on those crafts and like souvenirs. Then what is the main objective travel writer? Motivating the travelers to a destination. you should describe that destination properly, and you should also caution the traveler. You should also keep into consideration the government policies, and you should always look out for improvements. You can always take the feedbacks, you can always take the reviews, and you can always share experiences. You have to market and promote it, so you have to provide information. So and of course there should be a storyline, there should be a tag, that you have to give. Then include some amazing visuals that could attract the tourists. Then feature also fellow travelers, who were also along with you. And you should always be able to tell the story. If you're a good narrator, fine enough. If you have a good writing skill, you should write the stories. Okay, so tell the stories of making unity. Everyone has a story to tell. The destination they travel, how they write. So turn your piece into a diary. You should have that habit. Okay, and it should be very captivating at the same time. You should design a theme for that, and but always ensure that you use very vivid and simple languages. And you can always do some when you do all this content writing, you have to also ensure that there is no plagiarism. So there are many softwares available in the market where you can get it plagiarized. So you can always do self editing. As I told, don't try to copy and paste. It should be something of your own that would people would enjoy. Even if it's in a very simple language, but it should be very captivating. So, what are the qualities? You must be very open-minded, and you should have a good observation skill. And updating of knowledge is very important. You should keep on updating in all respect, and you should adopt your own style of writing, and you should try to be more, apply photographs and all, which makes more, captivating. And always remember that it should not be overstated. Something should not be overstated and also not to be understated. Okay, and generate stellar story ideas. And you have to master how you handle the rejection. It is not that when you start for a content writing initially, they may not accept your write-ups. They could get that vibe. So you need not think much about. You should know how to handle this rejection. So always remember, let your curiosity rule when you travel. It's one of the secrets to finding unique story angles. In writing for tourism, all of you are able to understand? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine. Um, Particular area. You are there? Wait, let me check. Yes, yes, one second. Sometimes, connection issues are always there. One, yes. So I was telling you, like, what are the categories of tourism writing? It could be the destination, it could be the theme, it could be the cuisine of that particular area, then the culture, customs, history. History also is very important. That is also very essential. Then what is the mode of travel? Then you have to also highlight on the social, economic, and environmental aspects of tourism. Then you have to discuss about the literature. Okay, and you would be very, I would. Then there is a special interest tourist also, so that could also be one category of tourism writing. And you should know that Indian cuisine that ranks fifth in the list of the best cuisines of the world. Okay, destinations and the World Tourism Day is being celebrated on 27th September, and usually in schools, colleges that is being celebrated nowadays. Like especially in the hotel management colleges, in the tourism colleges, you have a lot of programs that is being conducted. You have debates, you have storytelling competitions, then you have different dance competitions are being held. So different programs are being organized on this World Tourism Day, that is on 27th September. So what I was talking about the cuisine also. The cuisine has the capacity to pull tourists towards a destination, and there are a lot of special books are written on this subject. There are recipe books, there are food books, which helps in attracting visitors to a particular destination. Now, when we talk about the travel industry and tourism, organizations, I have told you in my previous classes, there are Indian travel writers, there are African travel writers, and there are international organizations who are involved in this, like WTO, World Tourism Organization. We have PATA, PATA, that is the Pacific Asia Travel Association. Then we have IATA, that is the International Air Transport Association. So various tourism organizations are there, and tremendous growth of this tourism industry provide ample of scope to write on various aspects of it. Okay, and you can also, there are policies on tourism and its negative impact. It's not always that you mention about the positive impacts, and negative impacts are also written widely. During this COVID time, there are a lot of research papers that were being written, and they were uploaded on different sites also. Um, Even especially, people are not able to travel, but they could see the virtual tour of different destinations. They also started writing, or became content writers of different areas of interest. So that is where you find there are a lot of ample of choices open, but you should have an interest for it. So as I told you, the role of various organizations like WTO, PATA, PATA, then IATA, International Air Transport Association. There are several organizations, trade bodies who attract many writers. And of course, you have these travel fairs and major events which also help you to participate in those events and take up for writing. I have to be a bit faster because there are other things to be carried. Okay. Then we do have the social, economic, and environmental concerns. Okay. The social impact of tourism is a well-known subject. Okay, has impact vary from time to time. So everyone is interested in contributing to this subject. As I told you, during the COVID-19, there were a lot of papers written by authors which were uploaded on the different journals, websites, and then travel magazines and all. So this has it is not only the positive impact, but people should also be aware of the negative impacts. Okay? So economic benefits of tourism is another major area which attracted economists as well as travel writers. And especially, the environmental writers also written volumes on the effect of tourism on environment, which have become eye-opener in many cases. Especially, you are a you are a traveler, you are a tourist. You had been to a destination and you like the place, and you have written about the destination. But somehow it has been, it has been observed that during peak seasons, there are a lot of tourist arrivals on that particular area, and as a result, they have, destroyed the specialty of that particular area, the natural beauty of that area. So, but it is not that you, as a tourism professional, should write the negative impact. But if you are an environmentalist, if you are an environmental writer, you can also write on this environment. That is the reason why it is mentioned that environment. matters volumes on effect of tourism on environment, which became eye-opener in many cases because they are more concerned about the environment. You try to you look at how you can raise your business, how you can grow your business. That you look forward to. But if you are an environmentalist, you should always ensure that the natural beauty of that particular place is not being destroyed. Okay. So there are promotion, tourist literature, and video scripts. Promotion is essential, that we all know, for developing a tourist destination. And this promotional efforts can be through travel agents, through tour operators, through travel guides, and advertising skills are very much required to write up promotional scripts. And there is tremendous scope is available in the future in this particular area. But there are also special interest tourism. In special interest tourism always look out for books in their area of interest. Now you wanted to be a sports enthusiast, so you would look for sports tourism. You may be a cuisine enthusiast, you would look for cuisine tourism. You may be a space enthusiast, you would look for space tourism. You may be, that is the reason how the special interest tourist has evolved. Okay, so in-depth knowledge is required in writing such books, and writers used to accompany specialists in order to get experience before writing in special cases. And there's a wide range of books are available in this area also. So that was all about your media and about travel writing. We all covered. So the next unit is about the personality development, and the communication skills. Personality development is very. You should be a visionary person. You should be a good planner. You should be capable of learning. You should learn. You should learn, relearn, and relearn. You should have the proper training. You should be very creative. Unless and until you are very creative, you lack the enthusiasm to shape your personality development. To shape your personal development, so you have to develop, and of course, it should be always with a goal and objective. It should always be you should have an unless and until you have a goal and objective, you cannot flourish. That is what is essential. So tourism is a unique business, and in this business, customer is always supposed to be correct. Customer, we say that customer is a god. Whatever he says, he may be wrong, but at that point of time, you have to agree whatever he says. If he doesn't, then you have to convince him. So that is what requires your skill. What you need to really work on. That you need to cultivate those skills. So tourism professional must have personality, which should be very appealing, and they should be very customer oriented. They should be very service oriented, and image of the organization also depends upon the individual's personality. Okay, there should be something about self discovery. There should be in self-development. So these should be there. So when talking about the physical personality development from the physical aspect, we all know that the first impression is the last impression, or first impression is the best impression. So you have to impress in such a way on this thing that is your last. So you have to be very particular on this aspect, and you will never get second opportunity to make first impression. So ensure that you 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 cultivate that skill. First impression given by an employee of a company or an organization is also an impression about the organization. Obviously, this is the people from this organization. Suppose he is from online travel agency, Yatra.com or Expedia.com. These are the people. These are the personnel who have a very well defined tool package. Their process is very systematic, very customized. So what is we need to say that first impression that is being given by the employee of an organization is also the impression about the organization. This we will come to know in the next slides. Coming to the physical aspects to improve or develop personality. If you're a male, you should, these are the, like, I know you, You all are youngsters and you all are aware, you are sensitized about all these issues, but still, you need to practice. You should have a always well shape when you go to your office. You should be well set. Always should carry a charming smile, warm smile. You should feel confident, and your how you dress, formal dress. Whenever you are talking to someone, you should look into the eyes and converse. Should not be too fast. Your volume should be your voice module should be tuned, and you should have a firm handshake. Of course, body language, body posture, that also plays an important role. And similarly, if I spoke about the men personality is, but the women, the skills that is essentially you should have not very too much makeup. It should be minimum makeup and less jewelries with either suits or trousers, and a proper your nails should be trimmed, and you should have that politeness. You should carry that confidence that you should always carry with you. That is what is very important and attracts the consumers, attracts the tourists. These are all about all those, I know. So this is a few things. This is very important. You should always remember. This is an Indian dress code. Remember, it is better when local codes of the region. Sometimes what happens, like in India, we have different states, and each state has their own personal fabrics and all. Whether it's fabrics or whether it's the handlooms and all. So sometimes when you wear that handloom or that fabric, people from other tourists from other destinations will say, oh, it's so nice. This is from your state. It was yes. Okay, then you tell me I should buy something from my family members. So that is where you should wear better wear local clothes of that region. And because foreigner, when you are foreign, they always want to see something in real. I told you very initial, they don't be artificial. Try to be normalized. Try to be very pure. That what attracts people. So of course, clothes are always a matter of personal preference, but you should wear clothes of that particular region, and you should also wear clothes which you feel comfortable, and very important, which projects your personality. That is what is very essential. These I have mentioned always, like about the female jewelry. So, this is very important. I should tell you. Remember, elegance is the key to attraction. So you should be very elegant. That is what attracts you. Okay. So this is very important to remember. Regarding the hygiene habits and fitness, we all know that that personal care and hygiene is very important to all individuals. It is not only in the tourism sector, but it is in all sectors, whichever organization you work for. So in tourism industry, it is a discipline demanded by the employee as well as the customer. You have a dress code also for some companies. They have their own dress codes and all. So you have to ensure that the proper hygiene is being maintained, and it of course it requires time as well as effort, which should be adjusted. Then coming to communication skills, when we talk, so always, just to summarize about the personal development, I wanted to say that you should be very creative, you should have an urge for learning, you should be self motivated, and you should be a visionary person with proper planning. Now coming to communication skills. Communication is very important, and effective communication is essential in the tourism industry. You should be quick in problem solving, maintain a strong business relation, and there should be consistency in the workflow. And you should ensure that you should be very productive. You spend your time. If it is for 4 hours, you have to ensure that it is being spent properly. So you should be very productive and should be a strong decision maker. Okay, so basically, we all know that communication is a process of sharing, transferring, or exchanging of information, ideas, and views between two or more persons. So, communication plays a very important role in tourism business. Now, Yes, these are few things, your feedback ensures feedback is very important. So always remember, without feedback, communication is incomplete. Once again, I should say you that you should build strong business affairs, and you should be very confident in the workflow. You should be very productive. You should be a strong decision maker. You should be quick in problem solving, and, excuse me, and there should be a better response from all the stakeholders. Okay, the stakeholders, that whether they are the policy planners or whether they are the tourist officers from the tourism organizations, or whether they are the local community people. Okay, so communication, you can say that communication is the life of any self-oriented industry, and this good for and able to hear me? Is it audible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, fine. Okay, so there are some common barriers are existing. Often listeners prejudge people before they speak. First, you should be a good listener. Okay, first you should listen to the your consumer, to the tourist, to the traveler. Then only you respond. So first, you should be a good listener. Then you can be a good speaker. Okay. Then, as I told you, language is always a barrier. Many words in English and in other languages have different meaning based on the usage, and therefore very simple words, easily understood words to be used. And you should be a good listener, then only you can speak them. And don't make anything stereotype, like, stereotyping arises when people are placed into blocks and forming opinion about them. And avoid any preconceived notions, and listen to them with a positive approach. You should be very positive in your approach. That is what matters. There are. It is not that all customers are potential customers, but yes, then even if you know that this customer is not a potential customer, it is not that you will stop the conversation with him. Maybe at that particular period of time, he may not be a potential one, but later, after some many years, after many months or a year or so, he can be a potential customer. So that is, you should always, whenever you are approached, you should have a very positive vibe. Then, feelings influence individuals' judgment. So while on job, one should avoid negative feelings. You should avoid wrong channels or media. Always speak softly, effectively, and to the point. And it's not, you should not speak too fast, or it should not be too loud. On the other side, it should not be too soft also. An effective speaker should have flexible lips, facial muscles, your body languages, articulating organs. This should be there. This should be focused. This should be this. I mean, you should be able to express. You should be very expressive. That what matters. And sometimes you are unable if you wanted to convey a message, you get confused. So sometimes people speak without thinking of what you really want to say. So obviously this will confuse the receiver. So you try, whenever you are not sure about the particular message in convey, then kindly do convey that message. And sometimes what happens, speaker at times they are not convinced about the subjects. They are also not very sure of the facts. So deliver, whenever you deliver message, it should be delivered both politely and firmly. And you should know how to accept criticism, because without accept criticism without being over defensive or over apologetic. You should be able to accept criticism. Don't be too over defensive or don't be too over apologetic. Okay, that you should maintain a balance. So these are just to summarize. I have wanted to mention these are the ways to overcome barriers in communication, enjoy communicating with others, improve poise and confidence, learn through interaction as well as experience, effectively communicate, try to communicate your ideas very clearly, very smoothly, very confidently, very creatively, very interestingly, as well as very persuasively. And you should read books as much as you can, which gives ideas to become effective speakers. And you should develop a keen mental attitude. You should know people, understand the people you are dealing with. So that is the reason why you should first listen, then you can deliver the message. Make your point, whatever message you wanted to convey, it should be very politely addressed, it should be very clear as well as interesting. And enunciate your words clearly and develop the capacity for participating in the other person's feelings or ideas. Now about the voice, you should know when to reduce your voice, when to be too loud, when to be too soft, when and it should be at what pace, not too fast, not too slow. Speak at speed and which customers can hear as well as understand. The pitch should be, your tone of voice as per the situation to command customers' attention. You should know when to, when you should demand and when you should request. Sometimes you have to make the request very, make the approach very requestable. So that much peace should be there in your voice, whether it's a demand to do something or whether you are requesting something. Okay, of course it should be merged with the enthusiasm. If genuinely like your customers, it will reflect in your voice as well as it will reflect in your face also. So these are some telephone conversations. Yes.
Yes,
Anything
yes,
you
ma'am.
wanted? Yes. Tell me.
Okay, okay. Based on your explanation about writing for tourism categories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the
Mm-hmm.
is it the basic formalities that government has to follow, private travel follow in order to come this tourism tourism business or you are talking about what?
See, it is not the formality that the government looks for, but when you go for your selection procedure. Suppose if you wanted to work for any tour operator or tourism agent, maybe you are having a lot of information. You are quite knowledgeable, but since you will be handling different types of customers, see they will also test how you converse, what is your voice mode. So these are also essential. So these are few key points which you should remember, keep in your mind. Now suppose you are working on the computer, so it is not you are always on your phone and your laptop and earphone, headphone. So it is not necessary that you should have a this voice or that. But yes, your tone should be very proper. You should be very clear. But when you are not interacting on the when you are working for a project, you are not directly interacting with the client. But when you are a tour operator and you are selling your tour package to a customer, these are the skills that you require. Okay, you may be, some are, God gifted skills. Some people cultivate those skills. Sometimes you feel happy conversing with people, So even if you don't have the skills, you have to ensure that you develop the skills because it's a customer oriented industry. It's a service related industry. So these are the skills you should possess. Government doesn't say that you should have a very soft voice. Doesn't say. But when you go to face an interview, when you communicate with them, they should see that not only beside the knowledge, you should have that captivating, aroma. I mean, essence. You can attract people the way you converse with them. So these are always, tips. Got it? Am I okay?
Okay, ma. It's okay.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. You should raise some questions, then only I'll find more interesting to interact and communicate with you. Otherwise, I'm feeling that it's just a one-sided affair going on. I'm only talking. Sometimes I'm seeing all of you all are there or not. Let me just once again check. Okay, who all are there? 1 minute. Uh, okay, okay. I see. Caesar. Okay, I think Caesar, you were talking to me, right? I think Caesar and Basri, they were. Today Kuber is not there, I believe. Is there? Kabiru, Kabiru. Kabiru is not there. Is Kabiru there? I
I
think I
think
will.
Kabiru is not there today. I have
Ah,
not.
okay. Okay. So today, like I usually interact with Caesar has questions, then Vasir has questions. Vasir, acha, Vasir, which place do you belong to?
You say what, ma?
You are from which country?
Nigeria. Yeah, the
Oh,
same.
you are also from Nigeria. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
maximum
not.
are from Nigeria. And Bhasik, what you actually do? Are you a student or you are working with any organizations?
Ma, there is some interruption of noise beside you that coming due to
Okay,
the
okay.
lecture. I can't hear you properly.
Okay, okay. ठीक है चलो we'll go we'll move ahead. Okay, let me go to the PPT once again. 1 minute.
Okay, what are you trying to ask me about?
No, I tell, are you a student or are you working with somewhere like that? I wanted to know. Are you a student or are you working or a professional? I
No,
wanted to
I'm
know.
not. No, no, I'm not working organization. I'm
As
entrepreneur.
you, you are a student. You are a student.
Yeah, I'm a student. I'm a student.
Okay, 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 fine. Because for me, being a teacher, I should know who my students like, whether they are professionals or whether they are students. And sometimes, before entering into the job market and before being associated with organizations, you need to know many things. Everything cannot be taught in the class or something. But of course, how to speak, how to how you face the interview board. These are very much required. Okay, so that is the reason I wanted to know. Okay, so yes, we had some communication. We are talking about this communication. So posture is very important because it also plays an important role whether you sit or stand in upright position. And when are you talking to someone, you should always have an eye contact because eye contact is very important as it can transmit information and it also helps us to judge how our messages are being received. Okay, now this is a very, so that was all about your communication, about the personality development and all. Now this is a very important unit which is about the use of history. Now, history and its byproducts remain the prime attraction to both the domestic tourists as well as the international tourists. And as a tourism product, history figures in promotional literature, travel and tourism writing, description and interpretation provided by guides. And special interest, tourists show a lot of interest in history, as I told you, whether it's cuisine tourism or whether it is a space tourism or whether it's a rural tourism, whether it's a sports tourism, and so people has to have that interest. They show a lot of interest in the history, and especially we in India we have a lot of fairs and festivals which attract tourists. We do have, so we have a lot of international tourists, coming to India, especially to make a coverage. They may be travel writers, or they may be media coverages when they wanted to do photo shooting and wanted to highlight, on all those areas. Because these fairs, especially the fairs, they have a history connected with them, and that's been known for a long period of time. So, well, we have, there are some myths, fables, and history. Myths and fables are an integral part of the Indian cultural traditions, and very often this imagination is transmitted as reality. In India, we believe in myths and fables, and tourism is one area where myths and fables are used extensively to market exotic of a culture. Now, suppose you visit a destination and you share about that particular area. What happened. This is the place where all the Mughals used to rule over there. The Mughals used to rule over there. This is the place where the kings and queens they used to have their meetings. The kings, the queens used to dance over here. All this you do. Again, what happened? You just listen to those stories, and again you just transmit it to your peer group and all. And there is always, and suppose if someone asks you, how did you come to know? You tell, oh, that tour guide told us, but you didn't try to find out the real exact information from the books or something because the tour guide told you, so you just imagine that first time. So there is
Well,
always some. Yes, tell me.
uh, okay, as I can see telephone conversation in the tourism marketing travel
You can
agent.
see.
I say telephone needed, right? Why is it very important in travel agent marketing? Because
See,
I think I, I suppose telephone conversation it only works in the office of the business between the customer and the client. Why it is vital in the case of
See,
broadcast.
yes, yes. Your, I mean, it was, your. I could hear you exactly. I mean, there was a lot of disturbances, but what I could understand. See, tourism is always an intangible product. You know what do you mean? Suppose you wear a T-shirt, and I ask you, what did you purchase from there? You will show me this is the T-shirt I have purchased from this destination, from this place. Okay, this area I had been to beaches with it. But suppose if I
Okay.
ask you, but suppose you listen to me the other side. But if I ask you, how was the destination? Did you enjoy? Then you have to express with your storytelling capacity. This was the place. It was very, there were a lot of tourists coming, and the cuisine was too good. But the
I
prices
thought you
were,
already
it was an.
brought that complex.
Sorry.
As I thought in the last slide we treated, I think as a travel agents, you already submitted all this kind of information that the customer wanted to
Yes,
know
yes,
about the
yes,
brand.
yes, yes.
Already
So
submitted.
yes, yes. So that is one. Yeah, I have told you. So that is one of the reasons. You cannot. You have to only express. This is you have to show. You have to narrate the story through your experience. So that is the reason where tourism carries myths and where tourism has lot of myths and fables, which are extensively used to market that exotic of our culture. You have visited the same place, I have also visited the same place, but your way of expressing, my way of expressing is different. That is what myths, fables, and history are very much connected to tourism. Okay, extensively they are being used to market that exotic of our culture. In doing so, history of certain culture or region gets tracked, though it appears very innocent and harmless, but sometimes it results very dangerous on the other side also. Now, use of history in tourism. Okay, when we talk about history, it figures prominently in promotional literature. Of course, you want to promote that area. So sometimes you don't, sometimes you build up a story. Okay, you may not be knowing the exact. Sometimes I have shown you some more. I'll just show you some slides which I've prepared today. You'll find all those slides where I have shown you some, monuments, temples, and all. So every they say every monument, every temple, or any historical place, they have some stories linked to that. Okay, and this can only be promoted when you either see the destination, when you see the monument or buildings, or through travel writing. So travel writing also widely uses history because Some people are very keen to know about the history. They wanted to know, if I visit this place, what is the importance, what is the significance of that place, what is the history behind it. So sometimes people confuse us with history, mythology, and legends, and often history is being misinterpreted by the guides while describing the monuments due to lack of awareness of scientific history. There are many monuments, which have been, they have been excavated. So, after excavation, you see some coins, you found some other remarkable, instruments or articles or something they were using. So, you get a conclusion, this is the place where, these other things were excavated, that means they were using this. So that is how the story is being evolved and it is later being captured. And once it's like, but we don't have proper evidence for some monuments and all. So that is you sometimes propagate. So guides, they often propagates one own bias. The story is attached to, but they usually try to propagate. So that creates a negative impact. Okay, sometimes you have to add spice to make things more attractive. Thus, history is misused in that manner also. And attributing, sometimes when we talk about mythology, as I told you, this is a small example I give you. Suppose there is a place in known as Nandi Hills in Bangalore. People used to say the Sultan, who is known as a Tipu Sultan, king, used to drop people, used to he used to throw people down the hill. But when you are with, the tour guide says, this is the place where the king used to throw his, people if they were not, they were indisciplined or something. He used to throw those people from this is the hill. This is the hill where he used to throw the people. They and all the tourists, they used to believe that also. But when asked for evidence, they will create another story. Similarly, now you carry this information which has been transmitted by the guide. Now, suppose you are having tea or coffee with your friends, and when you try to communicate the same story, then your friends would tell you, "Where did you learn? Where did you hear from the story?" Then you say, "We got it. We got to learn from the tour leader." you know so you don't have evidence what the tool leader said, that only uh, you thought that is only correct information that is important. But yes, that is the reason, history is, you have to find the evidence. Then only the past, there should be proper past evidence. That is the reason it is known as history. So that has to be there. So tourists are provided with communal version of history at various destinations daily. But you care must be taken that history is not misused by anyone for the benefits. Now, some tips are there. History has to be, uh, um, um, it has to be taken as a serious discipline. It's a story within a story, and how you narrate, how interesting you make it, how amusing you make it. Okay, so imaginary events has to be avoided while following myths and legends. It should be clearly stated that there exists no historical evidence. Anecdotes has to be presented as anecdotes, not as history. Okay. Tourists may check the information with the help of guidebooks. Even if you go through the Google search engine, you will find lot of information which are not properly being defined. And same, you'll find the different. In some you'll find when was the stupa established. You'll find in one Google site it is mentioning 1920. In another Google site it was mentioned 1921. In another it is 1922, 23. So you don't have correct information. There's some information we are not able. So anecdote is basically a very short story about a person or event. So anecdotes have to be presented as anecdotes, not as a history. That you should. And facts must be told to the tourist. And you should give due weightage to the art style, the architecture, the artisans while describing about the monument. And history has to be narrated after reading authentic works. Avoid overstatement, comparisons can be made, and update your knowledge often. That is what is required. And always remember that history has to be based on evidence. So thus We can say that history is a discipline based on evidence. Hence, when it is packaged or marketed as a tourist product, this aspect has to be taken care of by the tourism profession. So one has to be very careful when making use of history in tourism. It is not history, thus we can say that history is not just a study of kings and dynasties and rulers, but it has varied facets, and tourism professionals and researchers should take note of this, right? Now coming about monuments, I would say that India is a land of monuments. In wherever part of the country you visit, you move, you will find there are temples, mosques, monuments, heritage buildings, churches, and so on. It's a never-ending, process. Like you'll keep on visiting, you'll find lot of monuments everywhere. For example, you take the example of Harappan culture because Harappa was the first. Now it is in Pakistan. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, they were the early civilization, and Harappa was the first site that was excavated in the year 1920. And there lot of information was gathered from Harappan, Mohenjo-daro civilization, like about their way of town planning. Then there were their rooms, their great baths. It's a very, very famous structure. But these are excavated. Okay. So similarly, there were stupas in Buddhism. We call that a stupa is a mound-like or hemispherical structure containing relics that is used also as a place of meditation. In India, we have lot of stupas like Bodh Gaya, Sanchi stupa, they are in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have Amravati, then Takshila. These are some of the famous destinations. See, actually, these are the stupas and monuments. This is the Dhaulgiri Sanchi stupa. It is in Orissa, Bhubaneswar. Then this is the Great Stupa of Sanchi. This is in Madhya Pradesh, state of India. Then we have the Qutub Minar, that was in Delhi. That's in Delhi. And this is also the Red Fort in Delhi. Just few stupas and monuments I have tried. There are a lot. Then we have this Gateway of India, that's in Mumbai. That is a financial country of a financial city of a country. Then we have the India Gate, that's New Delhi, capital city of India. Then we have the Victoria Memorial, that's in Kolkata. And this Victoria Memorial is a large marble building, and it was dedicated to the memory of Queen Victoria, the Empress of India. She was the Empress of India from 1876 to 1901. So that was dedicated to this memory of Queen Victoria. Then we have the Safdarjung Tomb. So just name a few, okay? You can just relate, I mean correlate, you can find some stories, you can go through, then you will come to know about the stories. For me, at a very short period of time, I won't be able to discuss much in details, but I'm just showing you some pictures where you can do a lot of studies and you'll come to know about the history. Now talking about temples, so whatever what I was saying, like about the monuments, what I have discussed here about the monuments, there is an enormous wealth of monuments and these heritage buildings, and it contains, and those are the great tourism potential, tour packages. And similarly, the paintings, the crafts, the coins is of significant importance. All this can be displayed, different heritage buildings, different museums. So all it also requires inventory to be prepared, so that they are not be lost. Now, coming to the temples, yes. Now, when we talk about temples, Indian temples have symbolized the very ethos of lifestyle of people through the millennia. And the panorama of Indian temple architecture, which I'll show you, may be seen across an extremely wide chronological and geographical horizon. So Indian temples are known for their styles right from the olden days. Okay, we have northern India, we have eastern India, western India, southern India. In northern India, they are from the foothills of the Himalayas to central plateau of Deccan is built on northern style. In southern India, follow their own style of building temples in Dravidian style. And the style of northern and southern India differ from each other. See, these are some temples of India. The Jagannath Temple, Puri. It also have the beach Bay of Bengal. It is located in the eastern region of the country. Then you have the Siddhivinayak temple that is in Mumbai, that is in the western part of the country. You see the architecture, okay? Then you have the Meenakshi temple that is in Madurai, that is in the southern part of the country. See the architecture. From the architect you can come to know, all the temples of southern India, they are of this architecture, okay? And this is another Dakshineshwar temple. This is in Kolkata. This is also in the eastern region. So this north, south, east, west, they have their different. Their architecture is always very different. And this Indian temples, they always try to display the lifestyle of the people. The carvings that are being made, those are very miniature carvings, and they are Watson. If you visit a temple, you will come to know ki, how the architects were so intensively they have crafted these temples. Then we have the monuments also. Now these monuments, this construction like dome and all, they require special techniques, and these decorations were widely used to add richness to the structure. And you should always remember that decorations widely attract lot of tourists even today towards such monuments and buildings. Now, for the this one is it's in Jantar Mantar. This is the gateway of India. This is in Mumbai, and you have the Arabian Sea. Okay, where the traders used to come through this Arabian Sea. Okay, so then you have this Jantar Mantar. This is in New Delhi, and this Jantar Mantar it consists of 13 architectural astronomy units, instruments. You can understand it consists of 13 architectural astronomy instruments. So there are a lot of buildings, monuments, heritage sites which carry lot of history. Each has its own history. And even if you go to this like when you talk about the stylistic evolution, it was the evolution of the Indo-Islamic architecture style under the sultans and mughals of India. And this is, if you go to this Christian and the Sikh architecture, if you go to Goa, if you go to Daman and Diu, these are the places where you'll find this was the place where there were Portuguese settlement. So all the architecture was reflected. The architecture was reflected on the temples. I'm sorry, on the churches of this churches as well as the forts of Goa, Daman, and Diu. Okay. So this is, and then coming thus we can see that these monuments, other weather, the museums, they together are the flag bearer of India's cultural heritage. And as a tourism professional, you should always be responsible for the protection and preservation of these treasures. And each region of India has its own monumental wealth. That is also very important. Each region of India has its own monumental wealth. Okay. Now there are different public buildings. Various other buildings were constructed during the times of various rulers, the Mughals, the Sultans. Now, administrative buildings, there were post office stations, there were public parks. But some of the fine examples of such buildings, especially the architecture, the stones they used, the marbles they used, the crafts they had used, the miniature crafts that were being used, those were worth. Then, the bridges were also constructed at earlier time. It survives even today. This is the British. This was built by. This is the Howrah Bridge. This is in Calcutta. Okay, this is in Kolkata. This is known as the Howrah Bridge. So it is over the river Ganges. In a day, how many lakhs of vehicles go to and fro? Around not less than few lakhs. Yes, this was built by the Britishers, okay? So you can understand. This is the parliament of a country, and this is the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It is known as the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the president, official residence of the presidents. It also has museums, and those museums are showcasing who were the presidents of a country, the British rule, right from the British rule to till to the Indian, then the Indian independence. After independence, who were the presidents of the country? What were their the utensils they were using, their outfits, that is the dresses they were wearing, whether it was sari or whether it was other types of dresses they were using, their outfits. So outfits, the utensils they were using, uh, then the handicrafts, the handlooms they were using, they are all kept in the vehicles they were using, they were all kept as in the museum. Okay, so it's all worth watching. Now some museums are primarily, basically when we talk about museum, the museums are the repositories of great cultural wealth. And the first Indian museum was established in Kolkata, and some of the very famous museum in India. That's the National Museum. We have the Craft Museum, the National Gallery of Modern Art, the Gandhi Memorial Museum, then Utensils Museum, and the Salarjung Museum. Salarjung Museum is in it's in Hyderabad. I mean, that is also you'll find, I mean, it's a very old museum, and it is one of the best museum of the country. Now we coming to the last unit of today's class, that is the living culture. See, when we talk about India is well known example for its culture, rich culture and heritage, and especially Indian culture is rich and varied, and it makes a fabled land for living culture and performing arts. The culture of India survived even under pressure created due to the improvement in modern day facility. And culture attracts lots of international tourists towards India. There are many visitors who just wanted to visit India because of its cultural importance. I told you there are, especially in Rajasthan, that's a state of our country. It's the largest state, and one of the largest state, and it's having the maximum international tourists. And you won't believe there are many foreign tourists who are very popular. They had their weddings taking place on these forts. Now they have been like those are the forts which have been converted to hotels and known as heritage properties. So big fat weddings of popular influential people, not only Indians but international, that takes place in those um, you can see in India it is known as Havelis. Those takes place in these forts and heritage hotels, because they wanted to give that essence. How the kings, they are known as Maharajas. How the kings used to wed. They go for a wedding on an elephant, sitting on the elephant, and everybody is like dressed, have a different outfit, and you have the cuisine they serve is not less than 300 cuisines, types of cuisines. So you can understand. Sometimes even all these film fair festivals in India are being held in those places also. So we can see that culture attracts a lot of international tourists towards India, and much of the living culture has survived outside the academy also. Okay. Now, talking about the handicrafts, I think I have one of my classes. I have shown you different handicrafts. So those are also being divided. Northern India of the country produces this handicrafts. What they produce silverware. They have carpets. Because usually the northern part of the country, is quite cold, and you have many hill stations over there. So usually, otherwise, Indian weather does not require carpet, but that because we have this Kashmir, the paradise of the country, so known as the paradise of India, so when you visit that place, it is most of the times it is being snow-capped. It has snow-capped mountains. So where you'll find all these people, they are weaving carpets, weaving shawls. So you'll find lot of carpets, silverware, ivory, shawls, then woodcraft handicrafts, then metalware, different types of pottery, embroidery work on the shawls and all you'll find in northern India. Coming to Eastern India, you'll find terracotta. Terracotta is basically made of, earth. Those are earthen pots. So terracotta is made of earth, earthen pots. Then you have woodcraft, you have paintings, then carvings on the wood. That is very popular in Eastern India. Then in Central India, you have stone craft, you have embroidery, then Western India. These all photos I didn't show in this slide because I've already showed in other slides. In Western India we have all these similarly pottery, stone craft, and Southern India is full of metalware, glazed pottery, then basketry, mass, woodcraft of different styles. Now coming to the textiles of India. Similarly, as I told you about the handicrafts and handlooms, India is also known for its textiles. And Indian textiles are known for its quality right from the ancient times. There is patola. Patola is it's a double. I've shown here a double ikat silk fabric that comes from the state known as Gujarat, which is in the western part of the country. Then you have jamdani, that is a type of silk, that is specially woven in West Bengal. It is a type of silk. Then you have kantha stitch, where small pieces of clothes are being stitched with different figures like birds depicting birds, animals, trees, and this is usually done by the people of West Bengal. These are the craftsmen and people who wanted to buy their crafts, and these crafts have been imported to different countries at a very higher price. But the story tells again there is a story behind it. There is a middleman who purchases all these crafts from these craftsmen and sell it to and import all these textiles, handlooms, crafts to different countries at a very high price. But in between the middleman are the benefiters. They only benefit, but the rural craftsmen they are not being benefited. So that is where tourism is has a very negative impact on the local community because these all crafts come from the rural area, not from the urban. Okay, so they come since they come from the rural area, so it has an importance. That is their way of generating revenue. But somewhere we see there, and India's 80% of our country is of rural population. Okay, and this rural population has to depend on this tourism products. It really has a importance. It is very significant. It is it has a very it has good value, but they are not properly being benefited because the middleman are the one who gets benefit from this. That is what happens. This is just I told you the negative impact. Okay, so these are different types of textiles which are being used in a country. Then you see this ritual arts, whenever we have any festivals, what happens, this is a powdered form, and this powdered form is of different colors, and they clean the floor, and and they draw this type of floral arts. They say ki if you do this, then goddess enters your home and makes you successful, financially successful. So these ritual arts in India, they are mostly confined of domestic ambience, and this is these are usually been prepared by the ladies, and they are drawn on the floors or on the walls of the house. This is not only like it is in all parts of the country. Only the design is indifferent. I'll just show you some. So this is what happens. See how they have drawn with the colors, and it looks so captivating, very eye-catching. And the international tourists they don't find all this, so they know that India's culture is very strong. It is a varied culture, and they love all this. Not only that, they also dance with them when they come to India. They prepare all this because they want to enjoy their the every place has its ethnicity and they wanted to enjoy. So these types of drawings, during Diwali, which is known as the festival of lights, and I told you like we have Holi, which is known as the festival of colors, which is in the month of another. Not even a month, it is in the first week of March it will be taking place. So it is known as the festival of colors. People play with the colors. Then this during Diwali is a festival of lights, illuminated, all the people light their houses and illuminate with different types of lights and all. They decorate their houses with this type of drawings. These are usually drawn on the floors or maybe sometimes on the walls, but they are usually drawn on the because walls, because these are being made with powder, colorful powder. So you cannot make it on the walls. You have to make it on the floors, and it's very enriching. You feel so captivating. You feel so nice. It gives you feel so enthusiasm. So it has a different name in different parts of the country. Like it is known as basically Rangoli, okay? And this art is basically a tradition which is handed over from mother to the daughter in succeeding generations. And as I was telling you, we have this World Tourism Day celebrated, so schools and colleges, they have this competition. This is known as Rangoli. This Rangoli competition takes place during this World Tourism Day, and they are being given on a theme sometimes which can be women empowerment. So they have to draw with these colors and on that theme. Okay, so this basically these drawings are without any figures, image, or narrative, as I told you, and this is really very well known, popular. You can know it's known as Rangoli. Now coming to the performing arts. So what I can say when we talk about performing arts, art lives only when it is performed. So India is known for its art right from early periods. There are different types of dances. The classical dances of India resolve around a few cardinal principles, and they have different types of expressions. These dances, some have facial expression, some have verbal expression, some have manual gestures, and the costume, jewelry that is being involved, and these are reflected in the classical dances of all religions of India. So Indian art strike at an inner core located in the realm of emotion and feeling. And dances as a performing art has an age-old tradition. And all classical dances of India, they have been originated from folk traditions. What do you mean by folk traditions? Folk dances, they are usually from the rural areas. So they are known as the folk dances, and they reflect on different stories and all. Through their dances, they tell us the stories. That is also very important. So that is the folk dances, and we do have classical dances also. See, this is different states. This is the style, this is the posture. They have a different posture. They have a different dress design. See how the sari. This is in a sari. This is the Bharatnatyam. This is the Odissi. This is from Odisha. Odisha has a Konark temple. It is also a UNESCO heritage site. So that is the see the gestures, see the jewelries they have put on. Then this is the Kathak. This is from the state called Uttar Pradesh. Their costume is different, their facial expression is different. So everything is being reflected on the dance, whether it's a facial or whether it's a manual or whether it's a costume or costumes or whether it's a jewelry. And this is Kathakali. This is also from Karnataka. This is another state of India. See how they are being dressed. You really feel, international tourists, they get a, when they see this, they give a hearty laugh, not only a hearty laugh because of the way they dress, but they also enjoy. Because they know that India's culture has so many things to tell. Because cultural industries are knowledgeable, and it is very knowledge based as well as very labor intensive, and thus creating employment as well as wealth for the particular country. So you have to be very creative, and by nurturing, I just wanted to say, these types of dances now it is not only being practiced in India, but there are also teachers, in different countries of the world who are performing, not only performing, but they are teaching all these dances like Bharatnatyam, like Odissi, Kathakali. We have an Indian actress. She was a film star when she was in the 80s. She was a very popular actress of her country, and she was a popular actress. She has acted in several films, but that was in the 80s. Okay, you all might not born at that time. So so then after getting married, she shifted to US. So she has her own school of Bharatnatyam where she teaches. So it's not only this is being practiced in India, but people from our country, and since people, the other countries they wanted to learn, so we have many teachers who are teaching all these types of dances. Even I would be very. I just wanted to add over here. We have a the Odyssey. This is the wait. No, this is Odyssey dancer. We have a lady. She's from France and she's been staying in Odisha for the last 30 years, and she teaches Odyssey dance. And not only that, she also speaks fluently the language of that state, because and see how there's an interchange of cultures within the country, so that is what matters. So see, this is kuchipudi, then you have this manipuri dance. This is also from the state, northeast state of our country, Manipur. Then we have this bhangra dance, bhangra garba. Bhangra is from the it's another northern part of our country. So these are different states have different dance and all. Thus, we can say that by nurturing this creativity as well as fostering, innovation, the societies, the communities, they develop a very cultural heritage and thus enhance the economic performance. Okay, and as tourists like to visit different places of cultural significance, as I told you, it is not only the domestic tourists but the international tourists. They are more interested to visit these places of cultural significance and importance, and they get themselves soaked in this culture of the area. And the cultural industry is thus very important to the travel and tourism sector of the country. Then we have the music and theatre. Music is always considered as a vehicle for communication with God. So distinct, there are different types of instruments are being used. Also, there is a Carnatic system of music. There is a Hindustani system of music, and these are being followed in different parts of the country. And and we do also have a theater where people play different roles. Dramas, we see dramas, theaters. That there's also a lot of active participation of people from different regions of the country. And basically, this theater, ever since primitive and mythic ages, theater has always been an integral part of Indian life. And during the 19th century, due to encounter with Western theatre, changes crept in Indian theatre. Okay, so these some of the very important, music and theatre which influences the cultural, scenario of a country. So this was all about. I think. I mean, I would like to say, if you never visit any place, you will never know the importance, significance of that particular destination. You need to keep on exploring different destinations, different areas of a country, and you keep on traveling, because traveling, it sometimes it leaves you speechless, then it turns you into a storyteller. So it is, you have a platter and you have to tell the story. How you define the story, that completely depends on your skill. So that was, if you have any questions, I think now I should wait 1 second. Now I think it was, if you have any questions or anything, you can always tell me. Yes, Usman or Caesar. Hope you're not bored with the, because I wanted that you all should also interact, so that we have a cultural exchange. We can exchange your thoughts, ideas, views. Yes, did you understand what what uh, what was being taught in the class today? Did you go through the units? I wanted to show you a video. Just a minute. Let me try. Okay, 1 minute. 1 second. I will try to show you that video. 1 second. Indian village video টা আমি দেখে রাখতে চাচ্ছি exactly. One minute, I'll show you a video. Okay, just a minute. I'll show you a crafts village. Just a minute. Huh? I'll just Choki Dhani. Wait. This is a Choki Dhani. Wait, I'll just take 1 minute. I'll show just 1 minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Just wait for 2 minutes. Huh? Then you can. This is 80 to 20 minutes. हो जाएगा स्टॉप करूँ I'm just sharing a video with y'all. Okay, just a minute. Now you see, huh? Sound is not coming. It's 1 minute.
काफी जबरदस्त बना रखा है, ये बहुत ही प्यारा लग रहा है, बहुत अमेजिंग। अंदर चलते हैं, देखते हैं क्या
Wait, wait. It should be in English. Wait, this is in Hindi. 1 minute, huh? Just a minute. Because you won't understand that. 1 second. Wait. I'll share now, huh? 1 minute. This one. This is the Chokidhani village, okay? Is it visible?
Namaste friends, we are in Pink City of Jaipur and today we are going to most visited tourist place in Jaipur which is Chowkidani. If you are coming to Rajasthan or Jaipur then your trip is not complete without visiting Chowkidani.
See how they are being welcomed, huh? See the hospitality of the people, how they are being welcomed. This is the restaurant showing the different
Chowkidani is
dishes.
not only a restaurant or a resort but it's an experience in itself because they have built the complete place. The campus is like a traditional Rajasthani village. So it is a must visit when you come to Jaipur to complete your trip. We are going to the restaurant today and ticket for Chowkidani restaurant is 800 rupees which includes a traditional meal also. I can see here they have camel, bull and elephant rides. We are going to take camel ride first. They have made even some artificial lakes inside this campus and
This is a
there are many
man-made
famous
lake, right?
monuments from Rajasthan, India. There are some temples like Vaishno Mata temple, Tirupati Balaji temple. Also they have tried to make replica of those.
I mean, these are all
To give the
replicas.
complete experience, they also organize certain dances like famous Ghumar dance, Kalbelia dance, and traditional dances of Rajasthan.
See, you can't see about the traditional dances. This is a man-made, okay? I mean, this is an artificial one. You can experience the village in a city. See, these are different crafts. These are different
Here there is
instruments.
tradition and architecture displayed from
See the
different states of
architecture.
India. I can see Maharashtra, Gujarat, and many more.
Different architectures from different states of the country are being displayed here.
This looks like a very beautiful Rajasthani village. All the houses are made from mud and sand. Looks so real.
See, they are made. See those, see they have made all those drawings. Okay. See on the walls, on the floor. See, these are the drawings I was telling you. See,
This looks so
everything
beautiful.
is
See how they
man-made.
have designed these rocks,
See
giving like
how
a
the rocks
cave
been
or a
designed.
hill like appearance. Uh, so beautiful. Amazing work.
See, this is also an artificial lake. Okay. So you get to feel the experience. That is what matters. That is what is important.
Yes, it's very beautiful, ma'am.
Sorry?
It's very beautiful.
Here they have made replica of Haldi Ghati, where battle was fought between the great Maharana Pratap and Akbar.
See, they
Where they
have
are
made a
telling all the
battlefield
stories
also, no?
about great Maharana Pratap and his
Yes.
life.
See, you'll find all this.
Sri Tirupati Balaji Temple.
So you'll find the temple. See, different architecture, you know.
Well, it is a monument
This is
and
the
heritage.
right. Monument
Heritage.
and heritage at one place.
Heritage.
Yes, at one place. You are
Yeah.
able to hear the music, na?
Okay.
Caesar? Okay. Just,
Mm,
I wanted to show you this video for a long time, but I couldn't.
I
Today
got to
somehow
know
I
from this
managed.
man that there is a woman cooking food inside that
my
hut.
And all are
Egypt
traditions.
West
See,
tradition, their cultural and custom tradition and
yes,
other
very good.
things he's been saying is acquiring another.
Yes, see,
Okay, here she's actually cooking. She's making
there she's
bajre ki
cooking.
roti here. You can
It
see
is a
there
work of
is a woman
artisan.
cooking over
Ma.
there.
These are all made from. Yes. See, I told you first that this is this is an artificial. This is a village. This
It,
has been located
it
in
is
Jaipur. Jaipur is the capital city of Rajasthan. It is known as the Pink City. So there they have made this
Pakistan.
village. It is no, it is in
She's
Jaipur,
cooking bajre ki
Rajasthan.
roti,
It is in
and
India,
this is good.
and
Good.
it
ये
is in
good है ना?
Rajasthan. The name of the
Dulne
city
ने
is
and with a lot of
Jaipur.
heat. You can see this so
The
much
name of the
heat.
city is Jaipur, where
And
they
I,
have
I
built
could
the
not
artificial
recognize from
village
outside that is a real
depicting
person
the
inside.
village life
But
of
she's
India.
doing quite kind of a bit of hard work.
Nowadays, this is
Okay.
the village people how they cook. We
Soma,
people,
Soma,
yes,
is it
see,
museum? Is it museum you
no,
visited?
they are having. They have
Well,
museums. They have everything is there in that village. It is
It's very
where
amazing,
comes
they are very friendly.
in
the
depth.
You can I just walked in here. She was very nice that you can come,
plan.
please see the place,
It is
see how she is cooking, and she was very nice. Actually, I feel pampered.
You have to get a ticket, rupees
was
800 ticket to get inside this village. Yeah, entry fee. See the costumes. See, this is the costumes we wear normal. But you see out this costume they have. This is the Rajasthani costumes. But this is a normal Indian costume. But this is the traditional Rajasthani costume. This is a different Okay, these are different types of being made.
Oh, again. बस बस. Papa trying. This is completely play area. They have you can hit from the ball. You can do dot. You can do bowling. You can do a lot of.
You can do a lot of things. You just play and enjoy the games. And this is the traditional dress. You see, they wore a turban also. And camel, since it is a desert area, so camel is there.
For the first time now.
You'll take a camel ride. Hey, sorry, 1 second.
So I got ticket for the camel ride. They did not allow me to sit with Toya on that camel because it can be dangerous for Toya, they said. So you can take this ride, which is camel ride.
people are the people driving
Yes, people are deciding they are all working
very
there.
beautifully
They are all
designed.
working there.
So here they have like water fountain.
Okay,
They have made like Vaishno Devi temple. There they have made like Haldi
Temples
Ghati
are
and
there.
a lot of temples and kind of all the famous places they have tried to
Battlefield.
build over here. This is very
It
beautiful
seems
fountain of
like
water
it's not
here on the
his
backside.
first time
It's
visiting
It's
lovely,
a man-made, huh?
lovely to be here.
this place. Uh,
Oh, it's more than one round, I think.
See the music, you listen to the music also, huh?
Everybody's going with their family as well here. So definitely a must visit if you're going to Jaipur.
okay.
Ah,
Is that first camel ride for Zoya?
Ma, one more time.
We are
yes,
not taking the
I say
bigger
one more time.
ride, so they
tell me.
also have bigger car
Village.
in case if you want to take that ride. And on that side, I saw elephant.
What is the name of the
Taking elephant
village?
ride
One
here,
more
just
time.
waiting for the elephant to arrive. He's not here yet.
Yeah?
The village is known as Chakithoni. It is mentioned here. It is an artificial village known as Okidhani.
It
I'll
is
tell you. Once you see the video, I'll tell you. It is an artificial village.
okay. Okay. Oh,
It
it is
is an
artificial.
artificial village. Okay. Yes, yes, it is artificial
Okay.
because you cannot go to this village. You know, you wanted to. It is being see. This is the village. So
Yeah.
this is an artificial village that is made by the people of Rajasthan and spread over 7 acres of land. Where you can feel the village life. You know, the way they are cooking their food, the dishes of that
So
particular
let's go. So
area,
once we
the
enter the
different
capital,
rides.
we
Uh,
came left, and this is
this
like
is
a
the
eating area.
eating area.
And I
So
asked
did
that
it
over there is a big area which is
uh,
like
so did
a
they
party place. Somebody's
visit
doing a
the
party,
food
we
in the
can
village could
even
also
arrange
help
the
and
breakfast over there.
generate some
Let me just show
income
you.
for the for the children in the
there.
village?
See, I told you about this. Yes, this is the you can see the village. It is a very popular destination among the international tourists. Whenever they go to Rajasthan, they
People
visit
are
this place. It is
asking
known
about
as
Zoya, that
Chakihoni,
how old is
Jaipur.
the dog? Because they think it's
Chakihoni,
a puppy.
Chokhi,
Actually not.
Dhani, Dhani. We see these are different types of eatables. See how the camel is being dressed. They also put some the camel is also been with lots of jewelries and all. So this is a you have elephant also. You can go for an elephant ride.
So we are going for elephant ride now with Zoya. Actually, it's only 50 bucks for the
Another
ride.
5 minutes. Huh? See, today what we taught about those drawings, it is being depicted there. I wanted to show you how this. I have shown you some photographs and all, but when you see the video, you get to know. See, this is how the ladies or the women are being dressed. See the jewelries they wear. Now they'll do some dance. See, and the dance is really beautiful. See, this is see how they are dancing. So these are all traditional, these are all the traditional ones. There you see, with pots, one pot over the other, one pot over the very demanding. See, these are the different traditional dresses. These are the different instruments they play. You know, ah, see, you could see that. There come horse. You can go for horse riding. See, tourists. They're playing this
I'll check my luck at the next
harmonium.
cloth shop. That what is going to happen next.
This is their palmistry is going on.
The communication job is good for you. Very skills and often teaching, marketing, sales. These kind of job is good for you. Sometimes you're full of confidence, overconfident.
See,
Happy marriage. Don't worry about it. Three children married.
this is the food outlets. You know how they see how they sit on the floor, and how they see how the glass. These are all made of. These are all earthen pots. These are all earthen pots. See how the food is being served. So these are all tradition. See the table small.
It's amazing. And they have a lot of things in the plate here. They have a lot of variety of food and very nicely served. And people who are serving are also very, pampering us. And definitely it's very delicious. Though a little spicy, but delicious. Amazing. Amazing.
See now they are playing flute. Okay. So that was. This is the lantern. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. Yes or no? Did you like the
Yes,
video?
ma'am. We enjoyed the video.
Yeah, we did.
See, what I wanted to tell you basically, this is a place called, there's a state called Rajasthan, and there's a place called Jaipur. Jaipur is the capital city of Rajasthan. Okay, and it is also known as Pink City because it is full of palaces and all, palaces and forts. Now, what have they have built a model village? You know, model village. You cannot, suppose you cannot go to the village, you may not, but you want to experience, you want to feel the village life. So they have made a model village where everything is like a village. You know, the food you eat, the food, how it is being prepared, how it is being served to you, the dresses they wear, the yeah, the village houses, all paintings and all types of dances are very traditional. So that was just a, video I wanted to show you for the last 3 or 4 days. Somehow today I managed to show you, and this is to have an experience. We all have all state has some importance, cultural importance of that. So basically, this village is known as Chakidhani village, Chokidhani in Jaipur. It's a model village, and it shows the Rajasthan culture. Okay, and I understand you enjoyed the video. The music was there, no? Music was there. Caesar, Sagir, the background music was there. One of you all can unmute and save. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. How was it? One sec.
Yeah, we did. We did enjoy. Exactly. Now, have you ever been there to go this visitor, your brother or your coworker or whatever?
No, I
Uh,
had been to that state. I had been to that state, Rajasthan. But when I visited that state,